What if I told you that scientists just figured out how to edit your DNA like a Word document, and the people making it possible aren't even human? Right now, artificial intelligence is teaming up with gene editing technology to do something that sounds like pure science fiction. We're talking about curing diseases that have haunted humanity for thousands of years, designing crops that can survive climate change, and maybe even letting parents choose their baby's eye color. But here's the kicker. This technology is moving so fast that most people have no idea it's already happening. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how AI and gene editing are working together, why this matters to you personally, and the massive problem that nobody's talking about. Let me break this down super simple. Your DNA is basically an instruction manual for building you. It's got about 3 billion letters in it, and sometimes those letters have typos. Those typos can cause diseases like sickle cell anemia, cystic fibrosis, or even some cancers. Gene editing is like having a microscopic pair of scissors that can cut out the bad parts and replace them with good ones. The most famous tool for this is called CRISPR. Think of CRISPR as the find and replace function in Microsoft Word, except instead of fixing spelling mistakes, it's fixing the code that makes your body work. Now here's where it gets wild. Scientists at MIT found that CRISPR can make precise cuts in DNA, but finding exactly where to cut in those 3 billion letters, that would take humans years. Enter artificial intelligence. Our eye can scan through millions of genetic sequences in seconds. It's like having a superpowered detective that can spot patterns humans would never see. DeepMind, the company that made AlphaGo, created something called AlphaFold that predicted the 3D structure of almost every protein known to science. That's 200 million proteins. A task that would have taken human scientists hundreds of years was done in about 18 months. But it gets better. AI doesn't just find targets, it predicts what's going to happen when you make a cut. Because here's the dirty secret about gene editing. Sometimes when you fix one thing, you accidentally break something else. These are called off-target effects, and they're dangerous. AI models can now predict these side effects with over 90% accuracy before scientists even touch a real cell. In 2023, the FDA approved the first CRISPR treatment for sickle cell disease. This disease affects about 100,000 Americans and causes excruciating pain because their blood cells are shaped wrong. AI helped identify the exact genetic switch to flip, and now patients are being cured. Not treated, cured. A girl named Victoria Gray was one of the first people to receive this treatment. She used to need blood transfusions constantly and couldn't hold down a job. Now, she's living a normal life. That's AI and gene editing working together. Then there's agriculture. Scientists used AI to design a strain of rice that produces 40% more crop yield and uses 30% less water. With climate change threatening food supplies and 8 billion people to feed, this isn't just cool science, it's survival. And get this, researchers at UC Berkeley used AI to discover entirely new types of CRISPR systems that naturally exist in bacteria. We didn't even know these tools existed until machine learning algorithms spotted patterns in genetic databases that human eyes missed. But now we need to talk about the elephant in the room. This technology is advancing so insanely fast that our laws, ethics, and society can't keep up, and that's terrifying. In 2018, a Chinese scientist named He Jiankui used CRISPR to edit the genes of twin babies before they were born. He claimed he was making them immune to HIV, but the global scientific community lost their minds. Why? Because we have no idea what editing a human embryo might do long term. Those changes get passed down to future generations, forever. Here's what keeps me up at night. AI makes gene editing so easy and cheap that pretty soon, anyone with a decent lab could do it. We're talking about people potentially creating designer babies, or worse, someone engineering a virus that could wipe out millions. A study from the National Academy of Sciences found that the cost of gene editing has dropped by 99% in just 10 years thanks to AI optimization. That's like going from a technology only governments could afford to something a well-funded startup could access. Right now, these treatments cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. That sickle cell cure, it costs about $2 million per patient. So while rich people in developed countries are getting cured of genetic diseases, the rest of the world is locked out. AI is making the science faster, but it's not making it fair. There are also countries racing to get ahead in this technology with very different ethical standards. China has openly said they want to lead the world in gene editing and AI. Russia's investing billions. The US is trying to catch up, but also trying to regulate responsibly. This creates a situation where someone, somewhere, might cut corners just to be first. Whether you realize it or not, this technology is going to touch your life. Maybe it's a family member who gets cured of a genetic disease. Maybe it's the food you eat becoming more nutritious and abundant. Maybe it's your own kids living in a world where certain diseases simply don't exist anymore. But it could also mean a world divided between the genetically enhanced and everyone else. It could mean new diseases we accidentally create. It could mean ethical dilemmas we're not ready for, like whether it's okay to edit an embryo to prevent Alzheimer's or to make someone taller or smarter. The AI systems making these predictions are getting smarter every single day. We're not decades away from some of the crazier possibilities. We're maybe 5 to 10 years away, and most people don't even know this is happening. Here's the thing, we can't put this genie back in the bottle. AI and gene editing are both improving exponentially. When you combine them, they make each other better. AI finds new ways to edit genes, and gene editing creates better data for AI to learn from. It's a feedback loop that's accelerating. Companies like Ginkgo Bioworks are already using AI to design custom organisms from scratch. Moderna used AI designed technology to create the COVID vaccine in just 2 days. 2 days. That's the power of this collaboration. The World Health Organization estimates that gene editing could eventually address over 6,000 known genetic disorders. AI is the tool that makes that possible at scale. AI and gene editing together represent the biggest leap in human capability since we figured out how to use fire. We're literally gaining the ability to rewrite the code of life itself. The question isn't whether this technology will change everything, it's whether we're going to use it wisely. The next few years are going to determine what kind of future we're building. One where disease is optional and food is abundant, or one where inequality is coded into our DNA itself. If this video opened your eyes to something you didn't know was happening, hit that subscribe button because this is just the beginning of the story.